What's good? Welcome back to my channel, Chrissyy Talks. Y'all can call me Chrissyy, Queen of Lies. Let's talk about it. So I spent the past 3 or 4 hours watching all these videos surrounding Clarence, his ex Leslie, all surrounding this book, Queen of Lies, which is pretty much bullshit, honestly. So I have a couple notes here. We're just gonna talk about what happened, catch you guys up for anyone who doesn't know what the fuck is going on, and we're gonna talk about it, especially the video that Clarence uploaded less than 24 hours addressing everything in his final video about this book. For those of you guys who want to know where this book even is, this book was posted by an Instagram page called Tell All Books with a Z, and they're supposedly a publishing company. They tell stories of abuse survivors. So if you go to the link in their profile, you will see the Queen of Lies, and bitch, this book is selling for $10. If y'all want to read it yourselves, y'all can, but there's videos on YouTube that already go over what's in the book. Some people on YouTube are reading exactly from the book, and Clarence and Leslie both respond and react to what is said in the book. So this book is broken up into 4 parts. There's actually a 5th part coming out, which is, I mean, it's weird because if you go to the Tell All Books Instagram page, they posted a post that said, Cheryl and I, which I'm guessing they're the owners, Cheryl and I had a great meeting this morning for all the controversy surrounding Queen of Lies. We will no longer allow authors to submit any books that focus on infidelity, which I think is weird because if you are a site, a publishing company that's surrounding telling abuse stories or survivor stories, I don't understand how infidelity can't fall into that, only because it's traumatizing. It can be seen as abusive, at least like mentally, and it just doesn't make any sense. It doesn't even support what you guys say that your page is about. But anyway, they say our platform is here to tell the stories of abuse victims, tell stories that teach lessons, and tell stories that help others. We do have a few authors that will release self-help books as well. Queen of Lies, the final chapter, will be the last book we release that focused on infidelity. When we first met Queen of Lies author, she told a story that touched our hearts. She handed us our books to read, and we began working to release her story. We have held her hand and supported her every step of the way. We will continue to pray for her healing and wish her the best. Part 5 will be the last book she releases with us. We appreciate you all, sending hugs and kisses her way. So I think that's very weird because they just said they were no longer going to post anything about infidelity, but yet they're still posting the Queen of Lies content. They still have it on their page, and they also said in this post they will be releasing the part 5. It's just like, I don't understand why this book is still going. Both of the people who this book is supposedly about have denied the content within this book and have addressed other issues. So I just think it's at a point where it's kind of disrespectful and weird, unless this is a real story. I mean, y'all, we don't know. Like, apparently they've been working with the author. So it's like, making me look at this publishing company weird. Like, what are y'all really trying to do? If you're really about helping people, you're not going to post a book and sell a book that has already been exposed of having lies within this content. How's that helping anybody? I mean, yes, it's said that it's fiction, but it's not helping anybody. It's actually fucking people up. So let's talk about what is being said in the book. So this book starts off with a girl from the Bronx, a New York love story, talking about this girl who's supposed to be Leslie, saying that she grew up with depression, anxiety, going to therapy her whole life. And in the beginning she says, well, I don't know where to start. Should I talk about this guy who left me for a public figure for money, or should I talk about this guy who forced me to have an abortion even though he had a celebrity who was pregnant a few months later?
Basically, the book starts off with the young lady saying that she's from the Bronx, and she mentioned that she suffers from depression and has always had to go to therapy all her life, and she had a rough upbringing. You know,
again, because this person knows
at
Leslie.
the point where, you know, her man, the love of her life, left her for another woman because he wanted to be rich, or should she start at the point where, you know, the love of her life convinced her to, you know, have an abortion just for a public figure to get pregnant a few months after her.
So this guy is called Clay, which is obviously supposed to be Clarence. To start this story off, they talk about how Clarence was so handsome. Okay, this man was so fine and broke that he had to have sex with older women for money.
Clay, it says that, you know, in the book that Clay was handsome and all the women wanted him, especially older women. So Clay and his best friend had an operation running, like a money operation, where they would basically have sex with older women, and they basically would give money in exchange for it, like an escort.
So basically now she's claiming that I ran an escort business where I am selling my penis to older women for money.
They're saying that Leslie was the leader of this escort business, she was hooking Clarence and his best friend Maud. They had this going on in the basement that they were supposedly living in together. So at this point, the author, who is supposedly Leslie, finds Clay messaging Queen. So Queen apparently messaged Clay first, talking about, you know, you so fine, if I wasn't married I'd be with you, and it just goes on to talk about Queen wanting to be with him and so forth. Clay is reassuring the ex/author that this is just for business, but of course it flourishes something else.
Allegedly, Leslie was basically, you know, just going through Clay's phone because, you know, she was bored. She saw a message from a girl. She saw a message from a girl, and the message said, "Oh my God, you are so damn fine. If I wasn't married, I'd marry you." That's what the message said.
That never happened. Already put up the screenshots of what happened and what she said and what she DM'd me, and we already said that. The author of the book
The
is you.
ex basically flipped out. She got mad because she's like, "You're not just doing this for money. Like, there's an emotional connection that's building." Clay simply just said, "Chill, babe." Like, he's just trying to get his followers up. And Clay basically said that this girl is basically just to come up. She's loaded with money.
But basically this book is saying that Queen cheated on Chris with Clarence and Clarence cheated on Leslie with Queen. I mean, I did read that this book was out for a while, so I'm not really sure exactly the time frame that this book was published. But someone called it a PDF file. But I will say that this book is not the first time I've heard people say these things, that Queen cheated on Chris with Clarence and Clarence was just using Queen for money. Like, this is something that has been said several times. So the whole sex escorting thing and Queen cheating on Chris with Clarence, all that is talked about in part 1. When Clarence reacts to this, you can kind of tell he's a little bit defensive. So when I first watched this, I was like, you know how people react to simply respond but don't react or listen to what the person is saying? I felt like he was just cutting her off. He was like, this didn't happen. Barely allowed any room to really react to this. And I feel like when people are simply listening to respond, that something's going on. That's how I felt when I first watched this. Now we're going to continue talking about what happened. So when Clarence reacts to this, he actually starts pointing fingers at Alexandra, who was the person who posted this particular video on Queen of Lies, and starts to say that she was the one who wrote the book.
And she's trying to probably scam people, saying, "Oh, it's a book." So you wrote the book.
Because it had to be her to have written the book. The way that she's talking about Queen specifically kind of caused a lot of backlash to go back on her, which I didn't think was fair, because Alexandra's not the only person to talk about Queen of Lies. This is just the particular video that he reacted to. He might have just caught her when he made this video, but at the same time, I didn't think it was okay or fair or right for him to actually label her as the author. But in this first video, he does state that there's no way that anyone who knows him or was around him would have written this book. So he kind of shuts this down. But within a few minutes, honestly, it was like, this is bullshit.
But the book definitely couldn't have been written by anyone in my past or related to me, because everything is a lie.
It also says that he was not even with Leslie at the time that Queen first DM'd him, that they were on and off.
The first time she DM'd me, I was not with Leslie.
Now, I will say this is questionable, because in the last video he posted on his main page, he does say that he had a girl in the DM messages with Queen. So I don't know if they were off during their relationship, but yeah, were they together or were they not?
And I didn't have Leslie posted nowhere on my social media, because we was already on and off and on and off. So that all of that shit I cut that shit out.
Now let's talk about the second video that Clarence made in reaction to the Queen of Lies. Notice that he titles this video saying that the author responded to me. So again, he's labeling Alexandra as the author. And this shit was on another level. Needless to say, Alexandra was pissed. This girl was like, broke ass, stupid ass, dumb ass, trick ass, bitch ass.
Broke ass, bum ass, trench ass, leech ass, bottom ass, gutter ass, garbage ass.
Like, she was really going in. And she was like, you know what, this is how I know this is true, because the way that you responded to me. I mean, she had rights in which he didn't have the right to say that she wrote the book. the way she responded was just it was just funny, bitch. Like, Clarence is saying that Alexandra must have been the one who wrote this book, and Alexandra's saying, well, based off of you saying that, that's how I know everything is true in this book. That's how I know you over here bumping booties with other men, having sex with older women, getting this girl to get an abortion, just saying all this wild ass shit. It was in this video that he said that there's no way that his girl could have gotten an abortion because they never even had a pregnancy scare, and she has health issues that makes it hard for her to even get pregnant. Like, it's impossible.
To say that I aborted, I've never aborted any, like, this is my first ever pregnancy. You feel me? I've never had a scare or anything with my ex. Actually, there is a health concern or a health issue that didn't even allow that to happen.
I do think Clarence had no right to bring up the health issues. I understand that it was brought up in a defense for him, but I mean, yeah, like, if she didn't want it to be mentioned, he doesn't have the right to mention it. But in an attempt to defend my character, you know, I don't know, like, what else do you guys say? Like, he was kind of bouncing around it and not trying to dwell on that fact too long, and it wasn't mentioned. But you know, if that made her feel type of way, then what are you gonna do about it? Like, you literally can't do nothing about it. Yeah, in this video he kind of just literally laughs at Alexandra and continues to deny the content within this Queen of Lies book. Same for the part 2 video that he made reacting to the part 2 of Queen of Lies. This time he reacted to a different video posted by Miss Bars TV, and it was, listen, this video when I tell y'all this book got so much more ridiculous, I really wish I recorded the reaction. So in part 2, Miss Bars TV is reading directly from the book. So Alexandra didn't do this for her video. She kind of summarized it and then put in her 2 cents. So in part 2 of Queen of Lies, they talk about how Leslie was homeless, they were depressed, she was living in cars and hotels.
I was 18 years old. I spent my birthday living in a car. It was a very traumatic experience for me. Imagine being put out.
Stop the cap.
Which again was denied by both Clarence and Leslie. Leslie in her video said that she was brought up pretty well. She didn't have a rough upbringing, grew up in a religious household with her grandparents. So this wasn't true. This just wasn't facts, apparently, according to Leslie and Clarence. Queen of Lies book stated that Leslie cheated on Clarence or got back at Clarence with his best friend Ma. Which again, both denied by Clarence and Leslie. Just said other things like she had a relationship with his grandpa. Not like a relationship, but like apparently his grandpa let her live with him when she was homeless. They talked about things, and Clarence says that he don't even got a grandpa, bitch. The book also states that Leslie says that Clarence would leave Queen for her, that Clarence got a 5th grade reading level and Leslie was trying to help him with that. Donated her kidney to his mother because none of her kids wanted to give her their kidneys, and that Clarence moved Leslie in the apartment that he was living with his family and Queen. So honestly, it's just like, one, a lot of these things were denied by both Clarence and Leslie, and 2, it just sounds absurd. Like, it literally just sounds fucking crazy. Basically, in this video where Clarence is reacting to Miss Bars reading this text, he's laughing the whole time. He pretty much denies everything, and that's the end of this video. He didn't even finish watching her video because the shit was just too ridiculous.
I can't finish that whole book because it's just so absurd, and I hate everybody. Hate is a strong word. I hate you. I hate you if you're in the comments and you're like, oh my god, this could be true. It's too detailed to be true.
Now let's talk about Leslie reacting to this video. So Leslie denies a lot of the allegations that were in this video. She said that she was never depressed, like I said, never had a rough upbringing, never had to go to a therapist.
I am from the Bronx. I was born and raised here, and I have not ever suffered from depression. And I've never visited a therapist. I never went to therapy, and I didn't have a rough upbringing. Honestly, I was raised in church. Both my grandparents are ministers.
Leslie and Clarence were together for 5 years on and off. She said that they were with each other since she was 18. She was going to college, like 5 years, 5 fucking years. Now she said in this 5-year relationship she has suffered and she has forgiven him, she has taken him back.
Me and Clarence been together for 5 years. I have suffered. I've forgiven him. We got back together a few times. When you are in a relationship and you love somebody, you forgive them and you want to try to work it out.
So it's like, what did you forgive him for? What were you suffering from? So this kind of implies that he cheated. Like, you took him back for doing something. So did he cheat or not? In this video, she also confirms that she never got an abortion. She never had gotten a scare. She never was pregnant. At first, she does not reveal why, but then she addresses the fact that Clarence basically said her business, but not really, just said it was health issues, didn't really say what it was, but saying that, you know, Clarence mentioned this and this wasn't in his rights to do so.
So moving forward to her saying that I had an abortion, me and Clarence never had a scare. I've never gotten pregnant, but that's all I'm gonna say. As a matter of fact, let me just address this because I'm a little upset. I didn't watch Clarence's second reaction, but a few people told me that he spoke about me having health issues. The condition that I have is so serious and so sensitive to me, and he knows that. There's just certain things that you keep private. You don't share my business to the world. You don't tell people that I have health problems. He didn't have right to mention it at all. I'm disappointed that he did that because
you can see that she's pretty emotional when speaking about this, and you can't really blame her. This is a very sensitive subject. I'm gonna say that I don't believe Clarence had any malicious intent when bringing this up, because again, he was trying to clear his name, and you know, this was just something that he mentioned and didn't dwell on. But at the same time, I understand it. On her point of view, like, women having trouble having a baby or not being able to have a baby at all, I mean, some people see that as this is part of what it takes being a woman, and bearing a child, reproducing, and you can't do that. So you kind of see yourself as less of a woman, and it's really heartbroken not being able to bring in a human being if that's what you want to do. So I mean, to have to be reminded about that, or to have people know that you have health issues that affect you bringing in a child when you know people didn't know and it wasn't their business, it's kind of like, it's hard, so I can see why. Leslie continues to deny the escorting. She denies the threesome. She denies going through his phone and saying that Queen did hit him up to start a YouTube channel. And she said that, controversially says, that they watched Chris and Queen together.
The reason why I know of her is because me and Clarence used to watch her videos with Chrissyy.
Clarence denies this in his latest video that we will review after we talk about Leslie's videos. But yeah, I don't know. I think it's very weird to mention this, especially if it wasn't true. Why are you saying that you and Clarence used to watch Chris and Queen together? What does that do for you? I just thought that was hella weird to mention. Now, this was kind of controversial of her to say as well, but she did say that they never officially broke up.
Me and Clarence, we never really broke up. What he asked for was space because he wanted to do things that he couldn't do while I was there living with him. That's what he told me.
Clarence told her that he needed space while he was doing stuff with Queen that he knew that she wouldn't approve of, and you know, doing things to get his money up. She apparently finds out everything between Clarence and Queen when we find out. So next thing you know, according to her, she just sees him and Queen getting closer, the videos getting freakier and so forth.
When the videos started getting a little more like freaky and too I don't know, when it was just getting too much, I couldn't handle it, and I knew then that I had to just let it go.
Now this is questionable because the first video that Clarence brought Queen in on his channel literally after is when he said that he was single. So like, if you look at Leslie, it's like, when did these videos start getting more enticing, getting more freaky? If he did say it, if he did mention that he was single, what was he saying that he was single for? Was it for YouTube? Was this just a publicity stunt? Was this to help him gain more on YouTube? What was this? Like, was y'all together? Was y'all not? Because it does seem like they were on and off, so they could have just been off, or they could have just been over. Something I will agree with Leslie is that in the beginning, when Clarence was working with Queen for their YouTube channel, even though Clarence was saying this was strictly business, and even though it was according to him and according to their text messages that he read on his recent video, which we will talk about, this is not like an automatic, oh, you're gonna work with this person, you're with them all the time, you're gonna eventually like them. It's not always like that. If it happens, it happens. If it don't, it don't. But I mean, girls just know. Like, there's just certain things girls know, girls feel, certain vibe changes, certain energy changes. And I mean, of course, we can't say that Clarence knew this was gonna happen or planned for this to happen, but I mean, shit does happen. Really, in his eyes, he was just just trying to get a bag, you know, get some money. And that's not to say that Clarence was using Queen, because Queen and Clarence were business partners. They were doing collaborations, they were doing videos together. It was a mutually beneficial thing, and that's what a lot of YouTubers do. They get together for the purposes of money, the purposes of views, getting more subscribers. That's literally what collaborations do. It's nothing new, it's nothing crazy, it's nothing weird, it's nothing foul for two YouTubers to get together in order to gain more. So I do think at this point the narrative of Clarence solely using Queen for money could just be squashed, because they were business partners. They basically used each other. Now, Leslie makes another video reacting to part 2, Queen of Lies, and she basically again denies everything. And then in this video she flat out says that she did not write the book. Now, the main reason of her doing this part 2 video was to address the health issues that Clarence mentioned in the video titled "The Author Responded to Me." And so you can see that she was anxious, she was shaking, she was biting her lips, she was getting really upset, and she addresses it and clears it off, saying that yes, I can't have a child.
I can't believe he's actually saying that it can't happen. Like, I could have. There's just certain steps that I have to take to actually come out pregnant.
Impossible.
Oh.
You feel me? Like, and I'm not here to spread anybody's business or anything, but I just wanted
but
to,
you just did it. We spoke about kids. We just wasn't ready for it. We knew that we didn't want kids at the moment.
And that's that for her videos. Let's talk about the video that Clarence posted last night addressing this whole situation and addressing Leslie, his ex-girlfriend. Now, I'm gonna say this, I trust YouTubers like I trust the government. But Clarence was seen pretty teary-eyed throughout this whole video. It's a 44-minute and some change uploaded video. I kind of gave him, I kind of sprinkled some sympathy. Like, I kind of felt like this was a bit genuine. I'm not gonna lie, a lot of people have had their 2 cents on Clarence and Queen ever since they got together. And so it's at a point where they have a family, and you do gotta put respect on their relationship. I'm not even talking about Chrissyy, okay? He put his 2 cents in this. I'm not even going to talk about Chrissyy, but it is crazy that both of their exes have something to say on their relationship. No one is paying me any type of money to sit here and talk about my ex. Honestly, I do not claim nobody, okay? Like, I will faithfully stand here 10 toes down and say I have never been in a relationship. And that's not even like a, oh, I was in a relationship and I don't see that. Like, no, like, that ass, like, if I make a video about my ex, I'm sitting there laughing for 45 minutes. You could not pay me nothing on YouTube or whatever to sit here and talk about my past relationship. But let's talk about Clarence's video, because it was... Clarence goes right in addressing Leslie and says, you are playing the victim.
My ex said that she shouldn't have taken me back and gave me second chance. I really don't like when people get on here and try to play victim. Tell all of it, not just my wrongdoing, because you up there trying to look like a saint. You feel me? And I really didn't appreciate that. You said you shouldn't have taken me back and gave me second chance. We was both young. You know what I'm saying? And I feel like we've taken each other back on several occasions. Not just you take me back.
Now, what's funny is I feel like when Leslie posted her videos, there was sympathy with her regarding their relationship. And she was kind of painting the picture that, like, he made me suffer. I took him back. Now, listen, okay? This is giving me Meg Thee Stallion vibes. And when I say that, I mean... no disrespect, but a lot of the time, people never tell their side of the story. They will say what the other person did, but what did you do? Not to say that what you did caused a reaction, but what you did play a part. And so y'all, you talking about a relationship, y'all both did something, and it sounds like this was a toxic relationship anyway. Yeah, he says, you're playing victim, you're not telling the whole story. We took each other back, okay? We see each other. In terms of toxicity, y'all both playing a part, whether you're the person who's taking it or you're giving it, okay? He's saying that they argued a lot and he was hiding things from her. He couldn't be honest with her like he is with Queen. Apparently, from this video, you can see that Leslie has her fair share of things that she did not talk about, and you really couldn't detect that from her videos. Like, she almost had me. You put so much more focus on him talking about your health issues and him leaving you for Queen or whatever the case, and it's like, whole time, what were you doing? Now, she did say that, you know, the relationship changed her and she wasn't the same no more, the energy changed and she was getting a little bit more possessive. But she said it in a way that it made it so like this was a response to whatever Clarence did to you. Clarence does apologize in his video for mentioning the health issues, but says that he never said it out of spite or malicious intent, which I agree. Like, I don't think he said it out of malicious intent.
To Leslie, you said that I used like your health problem, that I used it like maliciously or anything, and I said that that was impossible, that we had an abortion because we never even had a kid. Some people are saying that like I should have never said that or anything. I could see where you say that, but at the same time I never did it maliciously or an intent to hurt or to be like messy or anything. And again, I do apologize for the whole health thing. Cool, all that, you get all of that. You should react to that.
Now, what's funny is Leslie did say that she was quiet for 3 years. She respected Clarence and Queen. She didn't say nothing. This is the first time she's coming out.
In 3 years that I haven't said anything about him, I respected their relationship. I expected him to respect me as a human. I've been quiet. I haven't said anything, but you're talking about my health problems and my issues with having a baby. Not called for.
Clarence shut that down as well, okay? Clarence said you've entertained Chris sales. You went on live multiple times talking shit about Queen, saying that you look better, you're natural, whatever the case. And ooh, you made a diss track with your cousin about Queen. That diss track was tragic. Continues saying that they did not watch Chris and Queen together, and for a series of minutes in this video he reads the first conversations that he had with Queen. So reading based on these conversations that he screen recorded coming from 2017, it doesn't look like anything. Like, it does look like it was pretty business. I don't know about Queen's side, because I could argumentatively say that there's certain things that she said that I was like, oh, you know, he might have been flirting a little bit. But on Clarence's defense and on his side, you could tell that he wasn't really looking for anything and he was trying to keep it business. So I didn't really see anything suspicious or cheating or flirtatious. It was pretty business, and I'll give him that. And honestly, if you look back 3 years ago, Queen wasn't as popping as she was now, or when Clarence and her came up together. They were coming up together. Like, Queen left Chris. Chris apparently, allegedly, had more control over their accounts, which I will be fucking damned if you cheat on me and you have all this control over money and accounts and shit. I mean, I'm so glad she did something for herself, but bitch, couldn't be me. And honestly, I do remember Clarence being an Instagram model and a lot of people being on his dick with his pictures. So if you think about it, Clarence was an upcoming Instagram model. Like, he was getting his shit together, getting his clothing line, and Queen left this marriage and was building something for herself. So again, it's like, what were they getting out of each other at that time? They were building together and coming up together and using each other to do that. And he did say in the text messages that he was involved with a girl. So it's like, you don't really got nothing on him, and then you kind of got to look at Leslie like, you know, you kind of was inaccurate, did not tell the truth, you know, a little dishonest about certain things. Whoo child, my camera is dying, so let's wrap this up. Clarence is continuously seen getting emotional. He talks about the love that he has for Queen, you know, how he messes with her.
For you to say that I mess with her for money and clout, it just like, that really pissed me off. You feel me? I mess with her because she's beautiful. I mess with her because she's strong. I mess with her because she's goofy. I mess with her because she makes me laugh. I mess with her because she showed me that there's more to Clarence than I see in Clarence.
Says that at first this was business, yeah, but shit just happens. And I mean, yeah, shit happened. He addresses Leslie again, says, listen, bitch, you was never the woman that I needed.
You know what was wrong? You know what was one of my biggest problems with you? You never was the woman I needed. And that's where Queen got it.
And I was just like, he was saying real shit, okay? I'm gonna say this right here, right now. This YouTuber, this man was saying some real shit. Like, if this was my man, well, this is something that I would want my man to say. Like, he was being real, it seemed like. He addresses Chris and Leslie, basically saying, like, y'all have all these other exes and y'all still stuck on us. Get a fucking life. And tells us and tells everybody to just respect his relationship, respect his family. He says that, you know, I do have a child. He's gonna grow up to see all this shit that everyone's been saying about our relationship. I do feel like even though there's a lot of other things that their kids are gonna see on their YouTube page, you know, you don't want to hear that your dad doesn't love your mom or he was only using your mom. And I do feel like that's fucked up. But that's basically what happened in that video. So overall, y'all, Queen of Lies is bullshit. A lot of the content in that book was denied by both Clarence and Leslie. Leslie came up and said some things that Clarence has denied, and Clarence is supposedly no longer speaking on this. I do feel like Leslie's gonna make a reaction to this, but I do want to mention that Leslie had other videos on her page that she had deleted, and so solely on her channel is these videos addressing the situation, which I thought was interesting and odd. And I wish I screenshotted it before I refreshed my page and realized that all those other videos, like 2-3 other videos, were deleted, but that's interesting. But that's basically what's been going on in the past week in terms of Queen of Lies, Leslie, Clarence, and Queen. Honestly, in my opinion, I just feel like the book was bullshit. Leslie might have been caught up saying a few lies, and I think she's using this as a Chris sales scheme, you know, taking what she can get off of it. And I think at this point, leave Clarence and Queen alone, honestly. Let them do what they do. They do have a family, and I just feel like we can never speak on someone else's relationship. Like, even if you're the ex, let it go, leave it alone, let them be happy. Kumbaya, Hakuna Matata, all that bullshit. But since my camera is dying and my brain is fried, comment down what you guys think below. Do you think that this Queen of Lies was written by Leslie? Do you guys think that there's some truth to this book? Do you think that Clarence was using Queen for money, or they were using each other? Do you think that Chris has already made a video about this? I actually think he did. Comment down what you guys think below. Follow me on Instagram at my Snapchat Chrissyy 2S2Ys. I really appreciate you guys, and I'll see you on my next video. Bye, guys.
She the God, she the God, she the God.